Bristol has been known for their incredibly creative nose-to-tail approach to sustainable cooking, but they've recently introduced a new executive chef who's dishing up some even more creative menu items. Let's learn more. Okay, Chef, you have a background in French and Italian cooking, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that and which do you gravitate towards more?
So my upbringing was mostly in French-trained kitchens, so all the technique that I try and employ is through French cooking skills. But I ended up landing jobs in various Italian kitchens throughout Chicago, and I lean towards the simplicity of plating and trying to use few ingredients and whatever's in season. So the way it all kind of culminates at the end is it's a French-driven technique with Italian influences.
I love that because Italian ingredients and Italian plating and technique is usually a little bit more basic, a little bit more simplistic,
Absolutely.
More rustic maybe with
Absolutely.
the ingredients, where French is the exact opposite.
Absolutely, relying on the ingredients themselves to speak for themselves as opposed to having to manipulate them so much.
Okay, so you joined here at the Bristol just last year.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about why it was so exciting to join this team here at the Bristol.
Obviously, this is a restaurant you would eat at as a cook to find out what's going on in Chicago.
Exactly.
But through some awesome turn of events, I ended up getting to take over this kitchen, which was amazing to me because it's so much like what I started at Harvest in Madison. It's family oriented, and I don't know. It's an awesome place to be.
So this is that on a more grand scale, then,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
I love it. Now I know that the Bristol has been known for, obviously the nose-to-tail approach as well as a lot of, meat and pork dishes, but you've introduced some new menu items that encompass a lot of seafood and other types of dishes as well. So if you want to tell me about the new menu items.
There was definitely a phase where this got very heavy-handed and very masculine, and I think at one time I chose to eat like that, and then things have started happening in my life where I wanted to start taking care of myself, and I wanted to appeal to a broader audience than the Bacon of the Month Club people, which are awesome people as well, and I love them dearly and I support them, but I also want to appeal to more people and I want to eat like this. So for instance, like the bluefish and papillote, there's literally 10 grams of olive oil and it's just citrus juice and white wine, salt and chives.
It just looks so fresh and so simple.
It speaks for itself.
Smells
it's beautiful.
So good. Okay, so what do we got here?
This is the braised endive tartlet. It's filled with a caramelized onion custard and then a little frisee and pickled shallot salad and something I like to call awesome sauce, which is a severe reduction of red wine, molasses, Worcestershire, and a lot of hard herbs like sage and rosemary, some shallots and garlic, and it's just crashed down.
Sounds awesome.
Hard. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Works out.
Okay, and what do we got here? Because this is what I've been staring at.
This is my take on the whitefish caviar. Coming from Nomi, I love caviar service and the finer things in life, and I wanted to bring something like that here. So here we incorporate all the elements that you normally have. Blini, but in the form of a scallion pancake, lumpfish roe for the caviar, and then within the smoked whitefish itself, which we smoke in-house and cure in-house, creme fraiche, which is traditional with caviar service as well.
Charles Ford oversees the entire restaurant as well as their wine program. He is the go-to guy to find out what makes the Bristol a must in Bucktown. Okay, Charles.
Yes.
B Hospitality Co. is of course known for their excellent hospitality and the chef-driven cuisine, but I want to hear from you what makes the Bristol just so unique on the Chicago food scene.
The Bristol, 8 years in, has really been able to, I think, set itself apart from everybody because we're still a family. That has really allowed us to create a culture of really great hospitality. Chef Sean Farr has done a great job with the food, really taking it to another level.
Oh, it's good.
And the most important thing about the Bristol is we don't play by any rules. We steep ourselves in the French, Italian cuisine. However, if something is delicious, whether that be beer, wine, cocktails, food, it goes on the menu.
And you guys have such a unique wine and beverage program.
We have for a small restaurant, this is usually a 60-seat restaurant, we have a 300+ bottle wine list, which
incredible.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
There are no rules.
There's no rules.
You guys just break the rules.
Yes. So we steep ourselves really in the classics. All the Burgundies, the Bordeaux's, the classic regions. But we also we bring out a lot of fun stuff.
I'm embarrassed to say that as a foodie,
Sure.
I still know very little about wine. So if you could give me a little 101
Absolutely.
wine lesson here, that'd be much appreciated.
The most important thing to do is
I know my champagne, though.
the most important thing to do is drink more wine. Yes, you
start with that.
exactly. You have to really do a lot of that. Here at the Bristol, we blind taste wine with our staff every day. Every single day, myself or Henry will pull a bottle from our wine list. We'll open it and we'll taste it with the staff blind, just to see if they can make the connections. And actually, what we've seen is it helps them sell the wine on the list much better. It also helps them with their confidence. So what we have today are two delicious Chardonnays. You're going to see this is from, of course, this is from Santa Rita Hills in Southern California, and then this, of course, is from the legendary Chablis region in France. You smell it, and it's really high toned. It's like, you could, when people say it's like jumping out of the glass, kind of punches it right in the nose.
Exactly.
Okay, before you even taste it, take your other guy and kind of do like a twofer here. And then you literally take a whiff of this guy.
Double fisting.
Neither of these have, right?
You swirl better than I do.
It takes practice. But if you smell this one, you notice that it's completely different from this one, but they're the exact same grape.
Okay, see, I can
Right?
I can differentiate
Exact
that.
same grape.
They're very different.
But yet they're so different. The acid, the stone fruit, the quirkiness is really quirky wine. The savory components of the wine really pop out at you. So
Okay.
makes your mouth water.
I
right?
can't tell that it's very un-oaky, if that
Right?
makes sense.
And then you take a sip of this guy, and you'll notice that it's almost exactly like this, but it has more body.
They taste more like than they smell. Yeah, guys,
Subtle
I'm
differences.
learning.
Subtle differences.
I'm learning about wine. I want to know, Charles, what you want people to take away from this experience at the Bristol. Like when your diners leave here, what do you want them saying about you guys?
The first thing that we always try to do when the guest walks in this restaurant is take out all of their preconceived notions of what they expect from the restaurant. And that's by doing simple things, saying, "Hi, how are you?" before saying, "Do you have a reservation?"
Shockingly, that's a nice thing to do, right?
That tiny little gesture goes a real long way. Clearing tables the right way, looking people in the eye, saying, "How was your salmon, your chicken?" You get a lot of that stuff. You make connections, and the more of those small little gestures that we make, whether that be with the food, with the wine, with the service, the better each dinner is. That's literally all we try to focus on. We say in the restaurant, day in, day out, cook good food and be nice to people.
So cook good food and be nice to people.
Cook
Not
good
a
food,
revolutionary
be nice
concept,
to people, take it back to the basics.
but you guys
Back
do
to
it
the basics.
brilliantly.
Yeah, we try.
And
Yeah.
I'd like to cheers you
Oh,
guys.
yes.
Cheers to the Bristol because
Absolutely. Cheers.
love dining here with you guys.
Cheers.
Thanks again. Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so Bucktown is one of my favorite Chicago neighborhoods, and restaurants like the Bristol show why. Not only do they serve food that is sustainable and compassionate, but their world-class preparation is beyond delicious. So whether you come here for brunch, dinner, or drinks, you are sure to have a memorable dining experience.